Hello, and welcome back to the Chisholm Invitational. My name is Chuai, and with me from last week as well is Max, Formal Casting, which is what, your Twitter handle?
Yeah, that's the Twitter handle. That's something.
We just forgot the @ sign, that's all.
Yeah, I mean...
we have two new games for you today. Instead of the one, we've decided to give you a value meal and chuck two in there. So we'll be casting two games today. The first game is STMC versus Chisholm Maroons, and then the second game in the afternoon, well, it is the afternoon, but the later part of the afternoon is St. Eugene Spirits versus SPCC Colors.
Yeah, I mean, it's two very good games. The first one in particular, I'm really interested in just because I had a look at the ladder and the standings and taking a look at where these teams were at, and STMC surprisingly doing very well.
Yeah.
And for a roster I'm not too familiar with, I'm very curious to see how they perform, especially against Chisholm Maroon, who has become one of those benchmark teams for me. If you can beat this team, it means you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you fall to this team, still have some work to do in practice.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out whether or not these guys are the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch them. Playoffs around the corner, you know,
Exactly.
we're getting ever
Next
closer
Saturday.
to that date to UQ. So the 9th, mark it down. I'm very curious to see if this team going to be one of those teams we're going to be seeing play one of those best of threes, or, you know, do they have some work where they benefits of an easier early schedule? Don't know. Questions to be answered.
Yeah, questions to be answered. But in the meantime as well, we have some special things to announce. Recently as well, there was a news piece put on ABC about Chisholm Esports in general, which is insane, to get that worldwide coverage about esports.
Yeah.
Positive video game, especially correlating with schools, which is very good to see that that shift in the positive aspects of what video games can do. So I was extremely excited to see it. You and I both got little. I mean,
got little nods.
In a tiny box in a corner there, which was heavily pixelated.
Yeah, people got to hear me call the end of last week's game. That was pretty cool. And a lot of interviews, a lot of shots of the students and the players, and it was cool to see. And I believe we're actually going to show you all that clip right now.
I actually don't believe that we have that clip. That's okay. We might show it during the break.
Yeah,
there will be a 10-minute break between both games, so we'll see if we can get that for you then, for anyone who hasn't seen it. But I mean, positive video game representation is very beneficial, and it helping defeat that stereotype as well is something that is it's hard for high schools esports to combat that stereotype. So anything that can show it in a positive light is very good.
I mean, again, it's just sort of breaking that preconceived notion that all video games are sitting in a basement, being antisocial, wasting time doing nothing. But I think the more and more just like students, parents, teachers begin to understand that it's just like any other sort of sport that you would do after school, and you treat it such as an extracurricular activity, not a distraction. Just another hobby, another, element of fun in a student's life, which is very important. It's just underneath, good sleeping pattern, good diet, study, fun time. You need it. And I think to do that in a competitive environment where you're building teamwork, communication, it's just like playing rugby. Yes, maybe you don't have that physical element, something which you still should have. But it's just another way to learn these important life-building skills.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's all about, everything needs to be about balance and making sure that you are on top of everything in your life, and that video games and leisure time does come a part of that. I mean, anything in too much is bad.
Yes.
Too much fitness is bad because you'll eventually injure yourself and you'll wear yourself out. Too much chocolate is bad. I don't tend to agree with that one, but apparently scientific studies prove me wrong.
I'm still trying to fight the whole too much sleep thing being a bad.
Oh, no. Sleep is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. No, sleep is actually, it still is probably the most important thing. And I know it's kind of odd to be talking about sleep right here, but when looking at developing, students and young minds, sleep will always be the most important element. Getting those 8 hours is
something
critical.
I wish past me would have listened to.
Yeah.
I now respect sleep so much. It is now my best friend. Naps are the greatest. Anyway, I think we're jumping into the game right now, so we'll see what the picks and bans are. But I mean, I'm as interested to see this game as anyone else. This is the tie for first, which is STMC, and then the tie for third. So that's Chisholm Maroons, which they're oddly tied there with the Chisholm Greens as well. So we'll see what happens here. I believe the two Chisholm teams are as well versing each other next week.
No, they're versing each other later today, actually.
Later today?
Yeah, they have
their...
the big in-house matches happening following this one. That will not be on stream. Our next stream game will be St. Eugene taking on SPCC.
There we go, yeah.
So that will be a fun one. But in this one, it is STMC on the blue side, Chisholm Maroon on the red side. And already we're seeing some very interesting bans, the Tryndamere and the Kindred. And that is a critical one.
Both going after the 2 hyper carries now on Waffle Wizard and Microlag. Waffle Wizard being a new addition to the Chisholm Maroons there. So, and he just plays a lot of Tryndamere, just stays top, just pushes you down, crits a lot. And then the Aatrox ban as well, targeted again at Waffle Wizard, playing that in the top lane. So it'd be interesting to see what he pulls out now. He does have a semi-limited champion pool, but the champions he does play, that he plays them very, very well. Then on the Chisholm side, we have Echo, Zac, and Yasuo being banned out there. Looking more about that mid lane, that jungle presence there, respecting that. So maybe they want Malfunction to have a really good laning phase there, as he did show last week as well.
He did.
That he was very consistent in his mid laning phase as one of the Chisholm Maroon staples. There we go, first one of the day. And there's a Mordekaiser pick for Bepistan.
Yeah, Bepistan.
Sounds like a European country.
It does. It sounds a very Eastern European country.
Like the cousin of Kazakhstan.
Speaking of Kazakhs.
I'm a prophet.
I've
done it. I've done it.
Almost as if you coached this team to do exactly that. I'm on to you.
That's the Kazakhstan. That's the secret meta, the Kazakhstan meta. Every time you get a kill, you have to say "very nice," and that's it.
Something too that I want to point out though, that I'm actually very happy with STMC. In regards to their bans in particular, it tells me that they have watched that stream, because last week on stream we did watch Microlag on the Kindred and Waffle Wizard on that Aatrox, and they really took the game over. So definitely identifying them as threats. If you take a look at these players on individual levels as well, I pointed it out right before we got into this one. I feel like this game is set up for Microlag and Waffle Wizard to take over. And I think that's something that STMC has recognized as well. And they have already banned and are starting to play against Mordekaiser, super strong later, Vi, amazing ganks, both pre and post 6. So they're setting themselves up for success against what should be their toughest matchups. I'm excited to see if it can pull off.
Yeah, I mean, the Mordekaiser pick overall is such a good pick. You essentially can just take one person out of the situation altogether. You don't want that Kha'Zix coming in, just take him out. You don't want to play against that Fiora, because Fiora works better in those skirmishes where it's a little bit of an elongated team fight, where she can hit those vitals over and over again. So to have essentially him just banish her to the Shadow Realm, and then fight her one-on-one there. Sure, he might die, but at least he's taking that Fiora away from the rest of the team there. The Zed and the Kali picked up for both the mid laners. Battle of the Ninja Assassins.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see a Zed locked in blind. Yeah. That's usually very risky. And I'm also super surprised to see Malfunction on a Kali, someone who in the past I kind of felt like was in one of those safer laners, sort of played to farm, played for that late game. But a Kali is not that. That's a go in and get in your face.
Yeah.
This also leaves the bot lanes completely open. And it definitely seems as if everyone's picking for roles this time. They're not really picking for anyone else.
There's not much countering going on. Everyone's just kind of going with what they want to play.
Exactly. And it's very interesting. Comfort over meta, something I completely agree with considering the elo that we are at right here. But if you can do a comfort pick that is strong in the meta, you get Caitlyn, and I do like this lock-in for Olive Tree.
Yeah. It works very well. I mean, especially against, say, that Zed and that Vi, and especially that Mordekaiser, just being able to stay as far back as possible so you don't even walk a step towards them. But then Draven and possibly the Nautilus being picked in, which is, again, a very aggressive lane. I feel like you're going to have a very fun time, because I feel like the action will never stop with this game.
It definitely has that potential, especially with the amount of lockdown that STMC has. I feel like they want to really get into Chisholm's face already. Yeah. And if this Galio locks in, I feel that would be a great reactive pick, because you have that area of effect taunt, which could really stifle a lot of the all-in coming from STMC. So smart pick from the small boy right there. He has been one of my question mark players for Chisholm, just because I haven't seen him have that super strong game yet. And I feel a lot of what Chisholm wants to do right now in terms of stifling STMC is going to be on him. He's going to need to have a big game, unless, of course, the solo lanes take over like we saw last week, in which case things will be fine. But very much a very aggressive team comp coming out of STMC. I love their all-in potential. I love their dive. And as a result, Chisholm's vision game needs to be on point.
Yeah, I mean, even looking, like, just going down the lanes here, that Fiora versus the Mordekaiser, the lane is very one-sided. The scales are going to tip, and then it's just going to go in one person's just favor. As Fiora and Mordekaiser are two incredibly hard champions to come back from once you are put a little bit behind. I'd say more so Mordekaiser against a Fiora, because as soon as Fiora starts to get really far ahead, she's just going to be popping you left, right, and center, ganking. The Mordekaiser more comes through in the team fight potential, especially with that ultimate. So it'd be interesting to see as well whether he does go for a more damagey type build or whether he does stay like full tank. Because looking at that, there are a lot of bruisers and tanks, and I guess the Nautilus is the only one there that would be full tank. But against a Kha'Zix and a Kali, you want to be building something.
You definitely do. And the other lane matchup I actually am super curious about, we kind of touched on it before, is this mid lane between Kala and Malfunction. Now, obviously two ninjas, it's going to be a very heavy kill lane, and I do like what Kala has done a bit more in terms of the first 6 levels, going for the Ignite as opposed to the Teleport. I'm worried that sort of telegraphs a bit too much what STMC wants to do, however, because Kala's going to need to get a kill early by taking this Ignite. If we go into mid and late game, it's very obvious Chisholm's looking for this 1-3-1. They want to throw a Kali and Fiora on those side lanes. Those are each 2 champions that will win side lanes, wants to win those 1v1s. But if Kala can find that early kill with the Ignite, all of a sudden Malfunction's game plan is going to be super far behind. So I'm really curious on this, and as a result, I'm curious on these jugglers. Does, Metabon find that early gank on a Malfunction, or does Microlag counter? Like, he is the highest individual player in this game, and he should be able to suss this out.
And especially with that Kha'Zix being able to sit in the jungle. I mean, they all are relatively squishy. There's no one there, again, besides the Nautilus, that you wouldn't probably be able to take down with a few auto attacks and a few abilities. But, I mean, also, that Draven. If by any happenstance that Draven manages to get fed, those axes are going to be doing a lot of damage, and that will also put a stifle, say, into the Chiefs. Into the Maroons team comp, which they're looking for, which is just really, really quick fight.
They still have Chief in their clan tag. I think that's what's throwing us off, but I do agree. If, I believe his name is pronounced Cubix, if he is able to find an early kill or two, that's really going to draw a lot of attention, I feel, from Chisholm Maroons down to that bot lane to maybe try and stop the damage because a fed Draven goes out of control, or essentially they'll be playing Follow the Draven. And that would be super good for STMC because that means Chisholm aren't establishing their 1-3-1. They're leaving themselves more open to the pick composition that STMC has, and they could fall victim to that. So it's really going to be a case, I feel, for both these teams. As awkward as this sounds, and it usually is the case in lower elo games, funnily enough, win lane, win game. I think whichever team really shows that stronger lane prowess and can carry that further and further into more advantages, they're going to take this game over. This is one that I feel like it's going to be even until it's really not, and a team is just going to blow up probably around that 15-20 minute mark.
I feel like either this game's going to be decided in the first 5 minutes, or we're going to be sitting there for 15 minutes watching really nothing happen, then a team fight or a skirmish or Dragon will pop up, and then we'll watch the tide slowly shift over. I mean, also it's interesting to note that neither support has picked up Exhaust, especially against, say, really hyper-focused Kha'Zixes and a Zed especially. Just being able to throw out a quick exhaust and negate a lot of that damage that would come out. It'd be interesting to see whether the damage from Ignite plays out to be better in the long run. There isn't too much healing coming out of, say, I guess the Mordekaiser does have quite a bit of healing, but with the Zed, with the Vi, with the Draven, I would have much preferred to see maybe an exhaust come out from either team, just to respect the damage that might come out.
Yeah, I understand that, but I feel like if I wanted to see an exhaust, I would want to see it on the small boy more so than I want to see it on I'm Triggered. Because again, getting that early kill, getting those adoration stacks onto Cubix is so important, and if that Ignite can help that situation, I believe it would be completely worth it. Whereas
definitely, the Maroons have a more defensive, reactive base bottom lane there compared to the STMCs.
And the other thing I'm worried about too when it comes to the Maroons is how strong is their late game really going to be against, a Nautilus that has gotten his front line going, a Mordekaiser as well, and possibly a Draven. But on the opposite side though, 3-item Caitlyn, you have your own Galio tank. I don't know, late game. Now these teams really feel built for late game for me, which is more recent. I feel like it's just going to be a snowball out of control. As we are now on the Rift, it should be worth noting, a very deep line of scrimmage actually set by STMC in their own jungle, almost trying to bait Chisholm in, but Chisholm not going to be falling for it this time.
Just making they didn't fall for that try brush, which dominated the meta in like the first 2 months. And what a shame! One of the hardest wards to hit, and it would have done really great if it hit, but at least they reacted to it, and it was just there as a defensive ward, and it kind of just did its job. They did pull back. So.
I mean, they pulled back, but unfortunately for Chisholm, they're not going to see them pull back because of the location of it.
But there also wasn't a reactive ward coming out from SDMC to ward that brush either.
True.
So the Chiefs can now potentially just swing back in and take that. But again, Draven does have a really very strong level 1 compared to Caitlyn.
Yeah, you don't want to. I don't believe Chisholm wants to take this level 1. And honestly, I'm a bit surprised that SDMC didn't push it a bit more. The Nautilus Draven, if they had caught anyone, you're getting at least a flash, if not that first one.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you don't get the Draven Adoration stacks. You want to get those stacks up. You really want to flex hard. Like the new Kiana Louis Vuitton skin. That is 100% a flex. And I mean, I already hate Kiana. I'm going to hate her more when she kills me with Louis Vuitton. I mean, it's a beautiful skin. Like, I mean, it's gorgeous. But I mean, it is a very good flex.
You know, I'm actually a little disappointed that we didn't dress up a bit more for Halloween. We didn't get our spookums going.
Well, I have a Caitlyn cosplay, but I didn't know if anyone was going to play Caitlyn.
I forgot it was Halloween. Here we go. We already see our first gank happening. Microlak getting right into Bepistan, who's in a fair bit of trouble. Under the tower we go. The damage is there. It's Waffle Wizard securing that first blood.
That was a really nice tower aggro trade there from Microlak, being able to jump in, take a tower shot, and then immediately as soon as that happened, Waffle Wizard was able to come through and use that Q. That was ridiculously good.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about that entire gank was no flash used by Bepistan, 2 flashes used by Waffle Wizard and Microlak, and so SCMC possibly could find a way to get some retribution for that, but instead Microlak is actually invading Metabon and seems to be winning this. Nope, Metabon was able to get that blue buff, wasn't with Smite, however, Microlak actually smited early in that.
Yeah, I mean, but however, what he has lost up on, say, not using his flash, he also didn't use his teleport to get back into the game, so he has lost quite a few minions to the tower there, which might put him a little bit behind. However, Fiora hasn't. Waffle Wizard hasn't CS'd too well there, so I'm sure Mordekaiser won't find it too hard to come back into that lane.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that Bepistan has held on to both of the summoners throughout all of that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like Flash would have saved him, considering both the flashes were used before, but here comes out a bit of return. Metabon in the face of Waffle's Wizard, but Bepistan a little late to react, still able to pull Waffle Wizard back. The damage might be there. Remember, Flash is available for these characters, so they still could go for that kill, but not willing to risk that tower dive. They back away for now.
Waffle Wizard just surviving there, just hitting those vitals, getting the movement speed up. It was interesting to see how long he was staying around for. He's pretty confident on what his Fiora is playing.
Well, Microlag was waiting in that tri-bush, so he was, possibly thinking of that counter gank, which could have gone very well for Chisholm. Waffle Wizard did a good job staying alive and is actually staying in lane. Again, I'm surprised because that teleport is available, and he should be aware that Metabon is in the area.
Well, whether it is, say, knowing that Beck, I'm just going to call him Beck, didn't use that teleport, whether he does want to hang on to it in case, say, ganks come out and then Beck tries to counter those ganks with the teleport. Which I believe is a little bit of a smarter play. Or it could just be he's overconfident.
Yeah, either way, the CS advantage has gone back Waffle Wizard's way, and he is going to be backing now, so I expect teleport actually could be held onto if they had timed the back a little better, but because of the minions in front of him, most likely will be used as a gank happening in that mid lane right now. Metabon trying to get into Malfunction, who easily hop away, so a bit unfortunate for SDMC there.
Yeah, and unfortunately you might run into the Cousins as well, or run into Cousins here, but I don't do a lot of that.
Yeah, the fight's going back and forth. Actually, health bar's quite low. This one could go either way. Mid laners roaming down. That will be Malfunction getting there first. So Metabon tries to run away, but gets eaten alive by Microlag.
Scuttle Crab, the walking health kit. Just being able to walk right up there using the smite, which I mean was a brilliant play there by Microlag, being able to almost bait her out. It was like a 400 IQ play. You don't need the Honeysuckle plan when you got a Scuttle Crab.
Exactly, that is up top. Waffle Wizard feeling confident with those couples of long swords, trying to get to Bepistan. In the end, Beppy decides, I'll just chill. I'm not worried this time around, still holding onto those summoners, but aggressive play across the board right now to Chisholm.
Well, that's what we were talking about very early, I mean, just before the game of Champions Select, that the game pretty much, the top lane at least, came down to whoever can put each other down the fastest, and it looks like Fiora is trying to do that desperately to the Mordekaiser, respecting how much of a pain he can be later on.
And it's paying off. I mean, we're looking at nearly double the CS at about 5.5 minutes in. Waffle Wizard has put himself in position to take over the top half of this map, especially considering Malfunction in mid lane as well, has a nice CS lead over Kala, has that teleport as well, and this is the start that Chisholm was looking for. A couple of kills, lane control, a jungler that has the ability now to really pop up anywhere, and if you're STMC, it's time to get this Draven going.
Yeah, you have to now fall back on your default plan. In case everything else fails, please get Draven fed. The first Drake is Infernal, so both Vi and Kha'Zix do have really good ways of taking Dragon solo. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, it will come down to whether bot side has pushed up, how bot side has control, because you don't want to be a Kha'Zix going for that Dragon just to have that Draven and Nautilus roam up and just like, oh, let's go free snap.
But this is where that teleport for Malfunction would have been big. Yes. Unfortunately, he did just use it to get back to mid lane, so that will kind of keep Kala pinned under.
Yeah.
This does mean they would need to make that play for the Dragon now, but Malfunction is on the top side, and down below, actually, a gank is happening. A great dredge line from I'm Trigger does get the small boy, and the Galio will fall. There's some added duration stacks for Cubics, and STMC is on the board.
Speaking of Draven, there he goes. I mean, that was a really good gank from Vi, just being able to walk up there, then the body blocking the Galio there just to make sure that he wasn't able to jump away. But I mean, Dragon is up. There is no wards presently on it, but it looks like Vi's gone back to take her red, even though Microlag is sitting on the top side there as well. So
I feel like there's no reason for STMC to ignore this Dragon, especially with the Vi. Vi is actually one of those few champions that can solo Dragon at level 3.
Yeah,
so
the percentage of max health is ridiculous.
It is. So I feel like, you know, that's a case where STMC probably should have gone for that Infernal Drake. I think that definitely would have brought them back in, especially with 2 aggressive team comps. That damage can be the decider.
Kha'Zix is sitting in Dragon now, but Vi's looking like she might go for a little bit of a gank mid, but I think they just miss each other there in the jungle.
That they did. And up top, actually, the hand challenge has been issued by Waffle Wizard, is going to be getting those heals, so Bebistan needs to be careful. Taking them to the Shadow Realm is a smart choice. Meanwhile, down below, Cubics might be caught in a bad place, surrounded by 3 members of Chisholm, but is able to walk out of this, dodges that Euro Trap as I'm Trigger's entering the fray once more, not willing to throw that dredge line. So a lot of standing around, not a lot of action as the mid laners come down now as well. Microlag looking to possibly get back involved, just sort of staring each other down, and this is that Infernal Drake stare off.
That's it. That's 7 minutes in. We'll see who is more confident here. The levels definitely do favor, say, Chisholm Maroons, because Caitlyn does have 6, and however, Draven as well is half health, half mana, but there's STMC clearing the ward there. Will they go for Dragon? It has been pinged. Everyone has kind of gone back, but it looks like they will just go back to normal lane.
Yeah, smart choice. I feel like Kala really needs to pick this giant wave that's hitting in that mid lane at the moment in order to stay relevant, as Beppy in a fair bit of trouble. Waffle Wizard does take a tower hit, doesn't get the kill yet, but Beppy is really struggling, 20 CS down against the Wizard.
Yeah, he's definitely showing his mental prowess. He's not only a wizard in the sense that he's good intellectually, but he also hits like a truck. He's a muscle wizard, per se, which is my favorite class to play in D&D. There's Kha'Zix as well, finding a Nautilus.
Oh, that's an unfortunate flash. Microlag should be able to get this kill, though the depth charge will buy some time. The small boy and Malfunction are here. Nowhere for I'm Trigger to go, and he will get cut down by Malfunction.
Oh, no. But like Velociraptors and finding you. Being able to cut off every single escape. Unfortunately, that is the life of the support. Sometimes you want to go ward and then you find the rest of the things. I've been there many times.
And the result of that death will be the Infernal Dragon going over to Chisholm. And yeah, well, yes, I agree. You do want to go out and get those rewards, but you need that backup. Unfortunately, at the time, you know, his partner in crime, Cubics, was back in the fountain and couldn't be there to help. And with no dragon pressure, it's easily going to go over to Chisholm, who are now 2 kills up. They have that Infernal Drake, and they are the team that are setting themselves up to really snowball this match.
And all 3 kills as well being on the top, the mid, and the Akali there. So we're looking at getting those 3 people really fed. The same 3 people as last time. You know, you want to have those staple 3. The big 3.
The big 3. I mean, this is the 3 carries for Chisholm, right? It's Waffle Wizards, Microlag, and Malfunction. We saw them have a strong game last week, and they are setting themselves up yet again. But Metapon trying to do what he can. Interesting gank right now in the mid lane, but a good use of the Shroud. Buys some time for Malfunction. Gets over the wall. The Death Mark still follows through, and all of a sudden, I'm not sure that's where Metapon wants to be. Has to go over the wall. It's a big heroic entrance from the small boy. Does dissuade the attack for now.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really, really nice flip there coming from Akali, just being able to jump up the wall. Kha'Zix sitting right there, baiting by in, and I mean, no deaths, no kills, so everything came out.
Yeah, meanwhile, up top as well, once again, it appears we are going into that Shadow Realm, but Waffle Wizard is definitely coming out on top here, will not get pulled back to the tower. Beppy, I'm not even sure he wanted to pull Waffle Wizard back in that instance.
Maybe it was for the best, but there's Kha'Zix as well. Maybe look like he might go for a little bit of a jump in. He does have flash as well, so a quite deep engage there. But Vi is also sitting just around the corner waiting for maybe.
But Assault and Battery is on cooldown, so that's a critical ultimate that won't be available. I still feel like this fight would go Chisholm's way. Microlag staying very patient, and now it's going to step forward. They're going to attempt this tower dive as Medbon has actually started the grab, so he will not be there in time. Beppy has to flash the other way to try and escape Microlag to get the kill in the Shadow Realm, as the junglers did meet, but that was Medbon losing out, trying to draw some aggro towards him. Here comes the Wizard and Microlag. Under the tower they go. It's easily secured. Pour some syrup on it. Waffle Wizard has 2 kills in this one.
Great. Brilliant. That was really nice. That was a really nice gang, but he's Zed as well. I mean,
yeah, Kala wants some of this as Waffle Wizard needs to be careful. The Ignite was dropped, and yeah, that riposte won't do much to stop the burning from inside, so a kill will be secured by Kala. Still 2 for 1 in favor of Chisholm.
Yeah, I mean, really nice gank there, rotation there from the Zed, trying to pick up what he can. Again, Zed is a very good hyper carry to focus all your attention on. Being able to just delete someone from the game instantly, especially if it is, say, that Akali, the Zed, or the Fiora. If you can get Zed to take down one person and Mordecai just removes the other one, then you're gonna have a better time in the late game. But really nice tower juggling there as well from the Maroons there, being able to let the Fiora go in. Then the Kha'Zix was able to rotate around. It just comes down to much better communication than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, no, Chisholm looking quite strong in this one. Again, it's that jungle top synergy. It's something that we saw last week, and it's only been built upon this week as well. Meanwhile, for STMC, I still want to see them play around this bottom lane, as we see right here. I mean, Cubic still is up, you know, that 1 kill, has a small CS lead over Olive Tree as well. Metabon is around. There's a Mountain Drake spawning in about a minute and a half, so not quite early enough to really be playing around that yet, but I still think, like, if you get Cubics online, then you can get that Dragon control. A Mountain Drake would be fine. It's not another Infernal, which I'm sure they would prefer, but it still would be something, and I feel like perhaps this could be where STMC might want to rethink their strategy moving in the future.
Yeah, it is really hard for STMC, who did pretty much rely on getting an early advantage, but here's Fiora showing up in the Mordecai.
Yeah, once again, Waffle Wizard and Deathstan kind of going at it. I still feel as if Waffle Wizard should win this trade. As you can see, the Grand Challenge has come down. 1 more vital point left. Microlag is coming to help as well. Big heals going over to Waffle Wizard. Microlag, though, is going to be the one who gets the kill, following, you know, some patience and waiting for everything to return.
Yeah, and just, I mean, imagine being the Mordekaiser, not knowing that there's a Kha'Zix there. You pop out, hello, it's me, Kha'Zix, and I'll take your gold, please. The Mordekaiser is having a ridiculously tough time there. Building very reactionary.
He is, and he unfortunately has to with how much pressure Microlag has been putting.
Yeah.
I mean, Waffle Wizard definitely being set up for success in this one, but you have to give Microlag credit where credit is due. 6 kills for the Chisholm Maroons. All 6 of them Microlag has been a part of. 100% kill participation, and that is what you want out of your jungler for the first 15 minutes of a game.
Let's see if it's 1 more kill.
Well, going for the solo play right now. Assault and Battery is going to buy sometimes, but there's just too much damage with the serrated Dirk coming out of Microlag. Another kill for the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, I mean, now your jungle, Vice jungle is now Kha'Zix.
Oh, we're not done yet. Yeah, Zed's going to try and stop Microlag, and you have Bappy here as well. The Death Mark does come down. Microlag does have a bit of isolation damage, but it's not going to save him. Inches away from that honey fruit, he will get cut down.
Oh no! It's like dying right when you're near a med pack. It's just you were so close, but I don't even think. I mean, by the time that fruit would have popped, you standing on all the fruit. I mean, by that stage, Zed's already near you anyway. But it was a solid attempt by Microlag, but however, the bounty also did just go to Zed, so that's going to be a nice influx of gold there going towards Zed. Yeah. Which, I mean, is something that the Maroons do not want. And
I have to give credit where credit is due over to Kala right now. Like, yeah, Not's been doing the greatest job in lane, but has been playing safe enough to not fall despite a couple games that way. Founding a couple kills as well to keep themselves semi-even with Malfunction. Like, Zed is in a place where we could be seeing more of the Zed later.
Yeah.
Again, it's all about getting, you know, a couple of those items and then going to the side lanes with Zed winning those 1v1s. Yeah. And until I see Zed take down Malfunction in 1v1, I'm still going to be trepid in saying that everything was going his way.
Yeah.
But he's setting himself up for success, and with Red Buff, really should be bullying this lane.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely showing that he is working really well to support the team as a whole. Being able to gank to the top side twice now and find 2 successful kills. So you see how that transitions further. However, Kha'Zix now does have his Duskar Blade. So whether, I mean, Zed versus Kha'Zix, whoever really finds each other first. It's a game of hide and go seek. It is.
Yeah, and actually, I would have liked to see that Duskar Blade as well onto Kala as opposed to Yomu's. As a bit of action, a Dredgeline going down. The target was onto, stepping towards the Nautilus. Needs to be careful right here, but it's the Small Boy who gets hooked. Small Boy quite low, but on 3, flashing defensively, can stay alive only for so long. Cubic gets him down with those whirling axes. Waffle Wizard is the next target who is able to cut down I'm Triggered, and now has to try and make a run for it. The Ignite is there, but Kala and Cubics are on the hunt. They will get themselves a Fiora. Bepistan trying to push back the rest of the Maroons. Here comes that heroic entrance, and it is going to connect onto Cubics, who is now in a lot of trouble. A great body block from Kala, but sometimes the Draven escapes, but 4 members fall for STMC.
And there you go, you were talking about the Small Boy showing himself up, being able to hide just over the wall there, being able to use the ultimate at that crucial moment, and just caught Draven on the lip of that ult there, and then being able to transition that into protecting the team. When Zed went in to use that taunt, just followed everything that you wanted him to do.
Yeah, that was a fantastic team fight, I feel like, for Chisholm. The only little mistake I feel they made was Waffle Wizard did find himself isolated from everyone else. That was not where he wanted to be.
Well, I believe that he was going against the Nautilus, the Draven there, but then
Kala showed up.
Yeah, but Zed's shadow was back there, and so it's just, surprise, I'm back. Oh no, I don't want to be here anymore. He tried to run away, and then at least when he knew that he couldn't run away, he tried to turn around and fight, which you don't know, popping the vitals, getting a little bit of health back. You don't know how that could have transitioned, but he tried.
He did try, but at the same time, too, SCMC, Cubics did come up big in that team fight, got another kill for him, so that's more adoration stacks, more gold for this Draven, which is going to be their ticket back in this game. I would like to see some more pressure again, still from SCMC on this boss side. You have to, like, unleash this Draven now. The Bloodthirster has been completed. He's going to win a lot of these 1v1 duels. Get him in these other lanes. Get him in that mid lane. Get him for a bit more of that dragon pressure, because at the moment, both dragons have gone to Chisholm. Interesting gank, though. Instead, the pressure still being put top in. Waffle Wizard is just going to buy enough time for Microlag to just completely delete Bepistan, and Metabon has no choice but to walk away.
Yeah, that was a beautiful riposte there, being able to just stun by in the interim period there, but it looks like another engagement might be happening in the mid.
Yeah, Kala just getting chunked down, not even really fighting back, as towers are falling up top as well. After winning that team fight and getting that Mountain Drake, it appears as if Chisholm Maroons are pushing the big go button, and they're starting to accelerate this game, get more objectives, put more pressure on.
Yeah.
This is looking very Chisholm at the moment.
Yeah, I look at the Draven and I wonder whether an Infinity Edge plus a Rapid Fire Cannon would have probably been a better option there compared to the Bloodthirster, and it looks like he might be building into Infinity Edge now. That Rapid Fire Cannon just keeps you at such a distance, especially when you are playing against a Caitlyn. You kind of want to try and match that distance as much as possible.
Yeah, and I would have liked to see some of that attack here as well. Going too hard to damage items means, yeah, he's going to hit like a truck, but it's a very slow-moving truck. It's almost more like a steamroller, and
it's relying very much on your W. And then if you end up dropping your axes and you don't get that reset, then you have lost essentially all your attacks.
As Beppy trying to get some vision in his jungle. Instead, all he sees is Kozak's Microlag going in deep, dodges that giant fist. Metabon, a great assault battery buys time, but the flash forward from Waffle Wizard gets the Grand Challenge shields off. He'll get away alive.
We'll see whether Kala is able to rotate there, but he's pretty held up in mid there against the Akali, and Akali could pretty much die him at any possible moment. She does have her head stack, so there is a lot of damage. That just a kind of sleeper mid lane there with the Akali.
Yeah, and this is really tough for Kala, because I know Kala wanted to run down, but by doing that, you would be conceding that mid tower, which unfortunately is more important than Beppy's life in situations like this.
Yeah, 0-5 now into 0-6. Unfortunately, as we were saying before, the dial has definitely turned over to Fiora, which is just making it incredibly difficult for Mordekaiser to even come back into this game.
Definitely is. That said, though, it hasn't been perfect from Chisholm. With all of this top lane pressure I feel the side has gotten, I'm a bit surprised Rift Herald is still alive and chilling on the map.
Yeah. Well, I mean, necessarily, like, even to grab that rotate bot, like, throw it down bot, use that just to grab the easy siege potential, especially when you have a Caitlyn sieging 1-on-1. Being able to, as well, get that dragon pressure up. We'll see whether they go for it, however, I mean, it's unless they can do it, like, incredibly fast, but it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone now. It's not going to happen. So I think for the Chisholm side, missed opportunity there to accelerate this game. Not that it needs too much more acceleration, just again, these games are about improvement as much
Any
as
more
it is.
acceleration, we'd be playing Earth right now. So I feel like...
Is there a problem with that?
No, I mean, I love Earth. But
Kala is in a lot of trouble. Justin Deathmark has the tools to escape, but he won't be able to get away from Malfunction, and Metapon might be paying for his mid-laner sins. He will fall as well. A double kill to the Akali. Up top, Beppy and Waffle Wizard going at it. The riposte is not going to connect. Beppy still trying to walk away, but Waffle just doing so much damage with these autos. The grand challenge comes down. He doesn't need all 4 marks. He gets the kill and the healing to boot.
Yeah, at this point, if you're anything over under your tower, you're pretty much out of position there for the Mordekaiser. I believe even still under tower, if you're on. It shows so much aggression. Yeah.
They need to lane swap. Like, they need to get Draven up against Waffle Wizard. Unfortunately, I feel it may be too late for that.
Yeah, I mean, even at this point, if they do lane swap, you're essentially putting a 0-7 Mordekaiser against, say, a combined death of 2 in the bot lane there, and they'll just bully you out anyway. It is, unfortunately, just lost a lot of pressure in this game.
Yeah, it's been a rough run for Beppy Stan, but I want to see, Cubics now really challenge Waffle Wizard and see what he can do. The cost of this, though, might be that bot tower. It will be the last tier 1 tower to fall for SDMC as buildings are crumbling, 2 towers down in mid, 2 towers down in top, and with Baron up as well. I think it's only a matter of time before Chisholm makes that Baron call, secures it, and looks to end this game. They get their 3rd dragon, the Cloud Drake, and the other one will be spawning next, but every major advantage has gone over to Chisholm in this game.
Yeah, it is just showing a really good strategy, especially coming from last game, where there were some moments where it could have swung around and potentially gone in the other team's favor, but it looks like the Chisholm Maroons have really focused in, and I mean, the training seems to be working, which is nice to know as a coach, that all my words aren't falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, again though, this one not quite over yet. I feel until Cubics falls, there is definitely signs of life in STMC. I just want to see them play around him and not have him be the most forward pushed out member on the team with barely any vision. That said, I'm Triggered is around, but he's leaving himself very exposed for this farm at the moment, where I still feel Cubics would be better spent at the moment sent to that top lane and try and do something to stop Waffle Wizard.
Well, it's just going to come down to that team fight, just the focus there. Whether they do, I mean, the Mordekaiser isn't even a threat, but if they do say, hey, like, we need to take down the Mordekaiser, I mean, he still is a threat. If you can somehow now just survive and just remove someone from the fight altogether, just sacrifice your life for the rest of the team, pull the Akali out, pull the Fiora out. I mean, and then maybe they can turn around that with the Zed and the Draven there. I mean, I feel like that would be the only way they can really get back in.
Honestly, what they need to do, I feel like for STMC, and this is the Hail Mary play, but wait for Baron to get started, pull Micro Lag out of that Baron pit, and go for the Smite steal.
Maybe.
Hey, play the odds in your favor. Turn the 50-50 into like a 75-25, get the Baron, get out, and then look to sort of regain map control from there. That, I feel like, is one of their few options, but in order to do that, they're going to have to wander through a jungle that very much is now under, like, priority of Microlag. It is his jungle.
Every brush could contain a Kha'Zix, and you don't want that. You don't want to run into a Kha'Zix with a dust. You will be down as well, so you're only going to have to roll these out.
And with 3 members of STMC sent to the bot half of the map, they're just conceding Baron over right now. This is a free objective, and I think it's just too risky, it feels like, for STMC to mount that attack. I still would like to see him do it. Like, it's a high-risk play, but
at this point, I mean, you have to throw those Hail Marys out. His Kha'Zix running on the
yeah, Kha'Zix thinks he has Beppy Sand, and still, it doesn't matter that Call is there, he's still going for it, and nice use of the Zhonya's to keep himself alive. Deathmark will come down, so it should be a 1-for-1. Michael Lag over the wall. The Remnant damage is not enough to get the kill. However, finally, Vi is able to punch him down. Waffle Wizard on the flank, gets into College face, takes down 1, but it's just getting pummeled by Metapon. Not gonna let him get out of this one, so a 2-for-2 overall. Both of, like, the major carries, though, for Chisholm fall. However, up top, the siege is on from this Caitlyn small boy.
But there was the priority pick coming out onto the wrong person there, that Mordekaiser. Yes, he is out of position, but he's not too much of a threat. I mean, necessarily, push that bottom lane, go there. The Fiora was able to react to that team fight, but she's got manhandled by that Vi. Just be able to push around, not was able to grab the vitals and get the pop off on the ult.
Yeah, that was, it was a good turnaround for STMC. Those are those little picks that they need to get. Getting the Baron buff off of Waffle Wizard as well, quite huge. That's still have to be careful for Malfunction and Olive Tree, as I'm triggered actually thinking the same thing. He's going to drop the dredge line, or the depth charge, sorry, onto the small boy, but still hits the dredge line onto Olive Tree, and here comes Cubics. Teleport coming through. I believe that is Waffle Wizard who wants in on this. Going to try and find his way down to the flank, but the teleport was spotted, and the rest of STMC are going to back off for now. Waffle Wizard waiting in the wings. Colin will be the target. Let's see how much damage he has. Colin can't escape, so drops the death mark to buy some time. Hopefully the damage is there, and it is. So a 1-for-1, and Chisholm, they're just throwing themselves at the bulk of this comp with a lot of crowd control, and it's not working.
You don't want to be in the middle of STMC when they do have, again, a lot of CC, especially coming out from the Nautilus and the Vi there, being able to just keep you in control. I mean, they have set now Kha'Zix into the bottom lane there, but he doesn't have Baron buff, so although the push will be going onto that bottom turret, it wouldn't be as effective as if he did have it, or if they sent, say, that Caitlyn bot. It's overstaying, that there was a wasted teleport, so now the Maroons are down a teleport, and Bep still does have his up, so he's able to contest globally. However, Malfunction also still has his, so being able to, they still do have something.
But this is what STMC needs to do to get back in this game. They need to stay grouped as 5, find these picks, find these advantageous fights, and they can find themselves back in this.
Yeah.
I feel as if Chisholm have forgotten what their game plan should be, which would be that 1-3-1, and they're just sort of like running in one at a time when, you're ahead, but don't try and pick every fight. Use this lead to your advantage. Force your opponents to run around the map, be off balance, and find picks possibly like this. Metabon is just going to get blitzed in this one. Too much damage coming from Malfunction and Microlag. Kala does get over the wall, but will get poked a bit by Microlag, and now you have the numbers advantage, and now it's time for the Chiefs to start pushing this Baron advantage.
Even still, the Zed and the Draven are still up. This is still incredibly risky, especially with that Mordekaiser being able to pick someone out if they were to engage there. Luckily, Chiefs, the Maroons knew better. We should have a tally marker every time. Ding! Yeah. And the rapid fire cannon being built for the Caitlyn as well, so she only has the more range. Cloud Drake is also up, so it looks like they will go over, while Akali does go bot lane to potentially push that down.
Yep, and smart rotation, like a push coming from Malfunction as well. It's close enough that the rest of the team could help out should situation arrive. As all this was going on, Waffle Wizard finally doing what I feel like Fiora should have been doing from the start, getting the top lane pushing. So we're starting to see that slow suffocation of STMC while getting all the 3 lanes going. This is the gameplay that Chisholm wants. I think they have reeled it back after a couple of those sort of crazy aggressive plays. They got the pick, they get the inhibitor, they're going to recall now, reset, get these last items, and now they can start looking to end this game.
But even still, the Zed has respected the damage that's coming out from Akali, built a Hex Drinker, which has delayed the Metal Dusker. So he still actually hasn't hit that 2,000 item spike. And it is now 27 minutes into the game where this should have happened a while ago. So we'll see whether hitting that Duskar Blade soon, I'd hope, has any impact on the game going into, say, the next 4 or 5 minutes.
Alright, so you're a coach, and I'm just going to ask you this one because I've heard this debate. I've had this debate a bit. I'm looking at Microlag's build right now. Yeah. So he's gone for the cloth armor as opposed to control wards.
Yeah.
I would have preferred him to see control wards there, because that cloth armor is not going to be doing much in the grand scheme of things.
As would I.
Okay.
I always have on the whiteboard red wards. Yes. Underlined. If you got 75 gold, you got a red ward.
Exactly. And I think because considering how all-in Microlag is, that extra bit of armor is not going to buy much. Well, if he gets caught, he's gone with or without that.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably looking like he is building into a GA there, getting into the chain vest. But I mean, it isn't TFT. Those items don't automatically build. You do need the gold to help. So. But yeah, the control ward would have been much better, especially how deep he's playing. Just being able to have that sense, knowing that, hey, maybe there's a ward here, but I don't know. Then again, he does have Duskar.
And he has Beppy in his grasp as well. I mean, yeah, that Zhonya's going to buy some time. Where is the rest of the team? He gets the kill and should be able to escape. Metabon not willing to chase that one. So Microlag, I don't think the cloth armor helped with that kill, but he gets one nonetheless, and 10 kills now for this jungler.
Yeah, I mean, that was an incredibly deep play there, especially in the enemy base. The Zhonya buying Beppy in 2.5 extra seconds there to maybe get a rotate around. If anyone else was any closer, that may have gone in favor of STMC, and then the 350 gold would have gone over, which would have been a healthy game. but looks like they will now rotate over to Barrett. There's no wards there. I mean, the vision side is looking quite grim there for STM. 3 wards missing on that corner, but if that's only a testament to the amount of control that the Maroons are having on the map side.
And we're seeing something very similar to what we saw previously, where it was just a situation where
it is the exact same formation that we saw.
Exactly. 3 members got sent to the bot, so Chisholm just quickly goes ahead, gets that Baron. Now Waffle Wizard needs to be careful. I'm actually surprised Trigger didn't go for that all-in the moment Baron fell, because you know where the rest of the team is. You knew you had numbers advantage. Meanwhile, this is going on. Yeah, a blind, like, it is a naked inhibitor, and it is going to fall. And this is setting up to possibly that game-ending push.
Yeah, I mean, Fiora does have a lot of she does have the Rapidus Hydra and the Death Dance, plus the Vitals. She's going to be keeping as full health as
Beppy. Beppy got a nice little grab on the olive tree. Had to step up for it, though. It's already down to half health. Needs to be careful. There's a lot of Baron-empowered minions. Some of them are even super starting to wail on these Nexus towers. One has already fallen, but here comes Time Triggered. Once again, the depth charges. It connects onto the Small Boy, and Small Boy's fine with that. A nice taunt. He's body blocking for the rest of the team to escape, sacrificing himself for yet another inhibitor, because down below, that is the 3rd inhibitor grabbed by Waffle Wizard, and this is that all-out assault. It still is a 4v5, or is it a 4v4 as Microlag is able to take down Time Trigger. Up above Malfunction, thinks he has this Zed. That is a lot of time being bought by Kala, but in the end, he does actually escape, but here comes Cubic. A lot of damage from this Draven, takes the kill onto Malfunction, so 2 members down from Chisholm. They might need to back away, but there are so many minions, the push actually continues. Triggered, 23 seconds left. It is still a 4v3. Here comes Metabomb. The target is Waffle Wizard. The response by sometimes Bakala getting right into that back line. They're doing so much damage. A lot of healing coming from that Grand Challenge, but it's not enough to keep Waffle Wizard alive. And the last one left is Olive's Tree, who flashes away, but gets cut down. And guess what? STMC is still in this game.
There's the Draven pulling through. As we mentioned, the Draven is now 8-0. He has not died once. The respect that needs to happen there from the Maroons to say, hey, Draven is now a threat. The rapid fire cannon, the Infinity Edge, the Bloodthirst are being built, and somehow STMC have managed to keep on putting out for a hero, and that hero is Draven.
Yeah, and at the same time, too, I feel as if Chisholm's communication kind of broke down in that. Some people were going in, other ones were breaking off, the skirmishes were fighting left, right, and center, but there was no real conceded effort to actually take down the true damage dealers. Too distracted by Kala jumping in their face and Metabon jumping in their face, and as you were saying, ignoring this Draven, who is now 8-0-2, 4 completed items. Cubics 100% can win a team fight for his team, considering the complete lack of armor on everyone on you know, the Chisholm side except for the Small Boy.
Yeah, I mean the GA has now been built there for Kha'Zix. The Fiora also does have a Ninja Tabai, so it's going to be reducing some of the damage coming out from the Dragon hits for 1.4k now. I feel like it'd be just about that with the 2 damage. But we'll see what happens here. The Dragon being picked up there, 2 Mountain Drakes, 2 Cloud Drakes, and 1 Infernal. And I think 1 hungry Kha'Zix looking for something. Yeah. We'll take
there's no reason, I feel right, for any member of FCMC to be leaving their base. Nope, stay home. Stay home. It's dangerous outside, and it's especially dangerous to go alone, considering how much isolation damage Microlag will be putting down. So they need to stay as 5, and they need to be playing, you know, protect the president. Cubics is the president. Keep him alive. If Cubics survives in a team fight, guess what? STMC can still win this. The biggest threat to him is actually probably the Small Boy. If this Galio can draw a lot of attention away, then perhaps Chisholm can find their entrance into it, as the big final siege looks to be upon us. Here comes depth charges. The target is Microlag, who's going to go ahead and buy some time with using that stopwatch. And now all of a sudden, that is, I'm Triggered, caught in a bad place. The Nautilus will fall, and that is one key part of CC gone. Boom goes Kala as well, and they're running in one at a time. This is not the way how SCMC needed to defend their base. They will fall. Finally, everyone gets the Cubics. Yes, he has a GA. It's not going to save him against 5 members strong, and Chisholm Maroons win the game.
Oh, like that was the pressure. I mean, at the end of the day, that was STMC. They were under a time limit. All 3 inhibitors were down. There's 2 super minions per lane. That's 6, right? They're pushing in. There's only so much you can do. Alongside with the Maroons there, you were saying that the biggest thing in that team fight would have been the small boy, and I actually beg to disagree. I'd say it was the super minions.
Yeah.
You need to clear them, otherwise you have no Nexus turrets. You just got to open Nexus, and it only takes a small amount of them for them to overwhelm, and then you've just got a minion wave coming towards you, and then alongside that and the rest of the Chiefs. I mean,
it was a tough ask, but I still feel as if, yes, in this instance, super minions were the biggest deal. When I was saying the small boy, I was assuming we were going to see a 5-on-5 fight, not marching in one at a time to try and make that big hero play.
Yeah.
I'm triggered. Yeah, you missed on the dredge line. It's okay to walk away and live to fight another day, but by triggering this sort of like lemmings march into the bulk of the Chiefs, poor, I'm sure Cubics was probably sitting back like, guys, there's super minions here. We don't need to be over there.
Yeah.
Let them come to us.
Even still, you can say that, but when they clear the super minions, they're distracted. Kha'Zix comes in, just jumps on them. Like, it was only a matter of time, I think, at that point for SDMC. It either needed to be just Draven cleaning up and Zed finding those picks, or, I mean, it was only a matter of time.
I'm saying this as if, it was a 50-50. No, this is like,
this
SDMC, they were really far behind at this stage of the game. On that note, naming MVP and Ace, I'm just going to think this one should be obvious, at least to me, on the Ace side of things. I'm going to give it to Cubics, the Draven.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, he kept the team in it as long as he could with not much support, actually. A lot of it was done on his own. Naming MVP, though, although I'm not a super big fan of some of the later playstyle or the build order, I'm still looking at microlag for that early game. I mean, when you have 100% kill participation for the first 15 minutes as a jungler, as a Kha'Zix jungler with a lot of kills, he enabled Waffle Wizard to succeed.
I was just about to say that. He was definitely the reason why Waffle Wizard was able to have such a commanding lead over in the top lane. I mean, the Mordekaiser ended up being 0 and 10, and the Fiora was 11 and 5. I mean, one kill down from the Kha'Zix, but yeah, the Kha'Zix was definitely the catalyst there, helping Waffle Wizard to get to the place where he needed to be. But yeah, again, MVP over to the microlag. Yeah, definitely showing why he is a very prominent and why you should ban him out.
Can you ban him out though?
I mean, it's been done before in the past. Definitely, he's not the Greek play.
I wouldn't give away
Achilles.
All these.
Yeah. Achilles. There's definitely a way.
There's an ankle.
Yeah, there is an ankle. Everyone does have an ankle, unless you're Faker, in which you're just covered in just gold.
No, G2 is going to be.
Yeah. We'll maybe talk about that coming after the break, but we have a few talks about the worlds that we might throw into the mix if we've got anything.
Also, I want to see that ABC video if we can get that going.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can, but we will be taking a quick break before we get to our next game, going to be between St. Eugene versus the SPCC Colors, and that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's definitely maybe going to be a quick one as well. We'll see how the SPCC Colors can come through. But yeah, I mean, we will hopefully catch you guys after the break. We'll be having 10 minutes here, so please tune around and possibly watch this ABC video as well. All right, see you later.